See ya.
This is Pershing Middle School, and it might not look like much, and it isn't. It's just a middle school. It's our middle school. But we have a teacher there, and his name is Coach Baker. As you can see, he likes America. And he does this cool thing with our classes. He takes the 8th grade class of Carver Middle School and Pershing Middle School, and we go to DC during our spring break. And over the years, it's accumulated some people that come along with him and help him. Now, when I mean over the years, this is Coach Baker's 30th trip. Me and my friend Chase kind of found that as an honor, so we decided to film it. Right now, we're at the student meeting, and we were just going over what was going to happen during the trip. But if we fast forward a little bit, we'll come to the parent meeting, and here we did the same thing. We just turned in some papers. After the meeting, all we had to do was just wait until spring break. Oh boy. Now, just to point out, that's me, Isaac. And it's approximately 7 o'clock. It's the time we were told to get to Pershing before the buses came. Where's Chase? I gotta get his tripod on here.
Why?
It's kind of weird to get out here. It's kind of weird to get out here though and see how many people are actually coming. Like this is.
Well,
you know,
there's 100 and something kids, right?
Mr. Mac.
Mr. Mac's got the pants on.
Yeah, Mr. Mac and Coach Baker.
Oh my gosh.
Right off the bat, you guys thought we were taking pictures.
See, Maddie? It's not a picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is this like
We're not picturing.
is this like on video?
Yeah.
Oh!
Video, the same thing.
I feel good.
But am I in the picture?
Yeah, everybody
Am I in
put
the
up
picture?
their sign.
You're good, Jack.
Give me in the
Everybody put up
picture.
their sign.
Jack, we're not taking a picture.
No, it's just one. It's just
we're
one.
taking a
Life is
video.
good.
Sooner or later, the buses started rolling in, and it was getting people anxious. I mean, we wanted to leave, but we didn't. It was just weird because we didn't know what we got ourselves into. But me and Chase got our bags, we loaded them into the bus, said goodbye to our parents, and hopped on. Now, before we leave, we gotta go over a few things.
Holy crap.
If you look at the map, you'll notice that we are right here, and we wanted to go right here into Washington. Now, whatever route we took, it was going to end up being a long time. And if you calculate it up, it actually ends up being 889 miles, which equals 22 hours of driving.
So we just pulled out and we're on our way right now. Alright, we're just gonna do this real quick. We're gonna set a timer. We're gonna set a timer for when we get to DC. I'll start it right now. We are leaving.
This is it, the beginning of one of the best trips that anybody on the bus would ever take. About an hour in, it was just a good time. Nobody was fazed about being on a bus. For entertainment, Coach Baker had some movies for us to watch, but some people just decided to listen to music or play on their phone. 2 hours in, it got a little quieter. It wasn't enough to go to sleep, but some people still did. 10 o'clock is some people's bedtime, I guess. We realized that it wasn't going to be easy sleeping on the bus. It is currently 2 hours. 2 hours
It's almost
into the
10
trip.
o'clock.
Almost 10.
And we're gonna make our first stop in some. Oh, here, let me look at the map.
10 to 15 minutes.
We're gonna stop in St. Clair.
Clary. Hey, you still Claire? Claire! So yeah, I guess we'll catch up with you then.
Yeah.
We stopped for a little potty break.
Great. Any thoughts about the bus ride?
It's really cramped.
They weren't lying. Though it was fun, the bus isn't the most spacious place, but people were still in high spirits.
I'm taking a picture, I'm taking video.
Video works for us.
It's a movie.
What are your thoughts so far?
We're having a great trip.
Alright, there you go.
As always.
I like that.
Once we got back on the bus, it started to get quiet. Really quiet. This quiet. The whole bus was silent. It was full of a bunch of people that were trying to go to sleep and a bunch of people who were. At like 5 in the morning, we switched off drivers and we got some gas. This driver would take us all the way to DC. Now, getting some sleep on the bus was vital because as soon as we would arrive, we'd be up and moving looking at sights. So, right about now, I passed out.
The first stop of day 2 was at a McDonald's. Just before we went in, we got to meet a new member of our crew. He was our bus driver, and he was a pretty cool guy. His name was Matt. As we went in, we noticed everybody was desperate for sleep last night.
I slept on the floor and my shoulder hurts so bad.
They really looked tired.
We're in Pennsylvania right now. If you want to see PA real quick, it's really nice. Actually,
I could live the bus life any day. I'd rather be.
We're gonna be at the hotel around 5, and
it's about 11:30 or something.
It's like 11:30. Pennsylvania is a long state, but a few more songs, a little bit more of the Avengers, and maybe a nap it even if you were tired from last night. And we were just blowing off the miles. Hey, alright, we made it to Wendy's Inn. Someplace. Dude, it's still snowing. Like, it's not like snowing, but there's like snow still. This was lunch, and it came with a pretty good view.
Mountains, so you do not know where you are. So I'm just a little confused.
We got back on the bus with the intentions that, hey, we're almost there. This just in, we have made it to DC. We have conquered the 22 hours of driving. Well, we're not technically in DC, we're in a different state, but we can see DC from our windows. So it's pretty exciting. We can see the cathedral and the Washington Monument. We got to our first memorial, and Coach Baker showed us something insanely cool.
Don't take your eyes off of it. Watch what happens. Just keep watching. Holy Christmas. Just keep watching. Keep focused. Don't look at anything else. Notice what's happening? They're raising the flagpole, folks. This is the Marine Corps Memorial called the Iwo Jima Memorial as well. It was dedicated in 1954 to the Marine Corps. When it was dedicated, it was the largest cast bronze statue in the world at that time.
Dude, this is totally legit. It's like, it moves up and down. So that's kind of like amazing because it moves up and down.
Coach Baker summoned us back onto the bus. It was kind of depressing though, because we've been on the bus all day, now we had to get back on. But we would be in our next memorial in no time.
Oh, that is the Pentagon.
That is your nation's military headquarters to the left, called the Pentagon. Yeah, you're in the right.
That is crazy. We just drove by the Pentagon and we barely.
We got off the bus saying goodbye to Matt to see 3 massively large pillars just shooting up into the sky. They're meant to resemble jet streams of fighter jets whenever they fly up in an upwards motion like that. And there were these cool glass thingies too.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes, every year. Starting in 1995, every year we've been to the Air Force Memorial. And this is one of the newer ones. Did I say 95? This one's 2004.
Oh yeah.
We took our last glimpses and then said goodbye, but it was worth it because I'm pretty sure by now everybody on the bus is ready for a civilized sleep.
Alright, we're on the way to the hotel. We just left the Air Force Memorial.
Grand Papa America.
You guys suck.
Excuse me?
Oh, there you go.
Well, somebody must
Dude,
have
I
yours,
freaking,
Bryce.
I had
You
to
shouldn't
carry
have.
out all that big bag of crap. Jeez. There, no, don't carry mine. Okay, I know. How many carbs got mixed up? You're in room 333. 333? Okay, Hey, Gunner? Hey, where's Gunner? Gunner! Hey, Chase! We're room 333. 334. Bam! Hey, we're gonna be partying next to each other, so. Hey guys, we're almost there. You guys aren't even on the stairs yet. No! Dylan, you're gonna have to hold open the door. I'm trying. Okay. All right, 2 more floors to go. You ready for this, Dylan? No. All right. Next slide of stairs. Hey, it's all right, guys. Just think you're gonna do this all over again. Then someone has to rip them all off. Okay. I'm with you now. Right here. Bellboys.
Excuse me. This is not a fun experience. Coming. Yeah, I'm coming, man.
I came out here to scavenge for you, man.
That was hectic.
It was hectic, man. No, you should have seen this thing. All right. I got it. How many keys are there? 4.
Oh,
brothers.
Woo!
We're in
What
DC.
are you doing? We are going.
Oh my god, dude.
No, we have.
No.
There it goes.
This is your first time in DC?
Yeah, this is our first time in DC. DC? Yeah.
So much for pizza.
I see how it is.
You just keep trying to front of me everywhere you do, won't you? You got that brownie.
Every night we would be having these meetings to get us ready for the next day. Except before we started this meeting, Coach Baker got a cake. From the hotel, actually. Because it's his 30th year doing this trip, which is just amazing. And then he got up here and talked to us about the next day, which just made us more excited. Some people didn't have the most pleasant mornings.
I had to wake up really early and didn't have a light in my bathroom, so I'm a bit about that.
I woke up at 5 in the morning.
We had to sleep with
This flashlight does not do much in the shower.
Mickey,
Other people didn't have the most pleasant
it's
nights.
like watching the tornado scene from Wizard of Oz. You know? That's a disaster in there. And you were worried about a spider? Are you kidding?
Most of all, though, people just weren't as enthusiastic as they were yesterday.
I mean, I'll do it. I'm okay with it. But, now we're about to get our tour guide. What's her name again? I think it's Anita. It's Anita something, so I guess we'll see.
All right, good morning, everyone. We've come all the way from Springfield. Welcome to Washington, D.C. On behalf of World's Rights, my name is Anita.
Now hold up. Who exactly was Anita? This is Anita. She would be with us all 3 days for our trip. And if you need to know anything about DC, well, she was the person to ask. But we need to get back to our trip. We took a quick little tour through Alexandria, and it was quick, so listen up.
Other than the fact that if you look to your left, as we come up, is a statue of a man with his arms folded. Yes, that statue has been hit a number of times. There is Christ Church, and it's, yes, here on the East Coast, a lot of these churches have burial grounds. It's going to be a little home here to your left. It's a little blue house. Matt's even, look at that. That is called the Spite House, because they built that home to spite, to kind of dig at the people that were using it, and making noise and making, you know, a mess on the sidewalls of the homes. Look at these homes on the left. They're kind of, you know, like falling towards each other. Yes, these are all right up against each other, but you know how much these homes cost? Oh. Gadsby's Tavern. This was one of the places George Washington and others, maybe Thomas Jefferson, people that were in town, they'd have to come in and have dinner. It was a restaurant. They would have dinner. And you see a bust of George Washington in the left window? This is where his little town home was, and this is a replication. This is not the original. But on the right-hand corner, you can also see the little, it looks like an old-time pump truck. Yeah, the firemen, so they obviously paid their dues.
We ducked out of Alexandria and got on the road to head to Mount Vernon.
Look to your left right now.
On our way, we caught a glimpse of Fort Washington.
Finally, our capital moved to Washington in 1800. Don't think it looks small.
They're doing a documentary. They're actually doing a documentary on the trip, so they're filming things and so on. Like over here, George Washington designed the Purple Heart medal for soldiers, and that's what that is right there. That commemorates his design and so on. So you might want to put that in there as well.
That's right.
Coach Baker got us there an hour early so we could be the first people in line. This was good for some people, but not so good for others. Even though, due to previous warning,
now it's cool outside right now because it's windy. So don't.
People were still
cold. Coach Baker, are you cold?
No, I'm ready, prepared, ready to go.
Wait, how long are we waiting out here, Mr. Baker?
Oh, you've only got another 35 minutes.
Yes!
20 minutes later.
Guys, we're off. What's up, guys? Hey, we're
There it is. That's George Washington's house right in front of our eyes.
Probably forgot to say this, but we couldn't film. We couldn't really film in the Washington, or we couldn't film in the house, so that's why you didn't see much.
That's all good though, because this house was beautiful from the outside, and it really couldn't have been put anywhere else in the world.
Jeez, that is crazy.
Is that a barn?
It's like, did you have your house in like an any better place? Caleb, what'd you think of the house? Dylan!
Oh, I wish I had a house like that.
I thought it was pretty great. Pretty great. I thought it was like better than the average American's house.
Oh,
Okay?
the average American.
I'm the average American. I'm not an average American, though, as you can see.
Coach Baker pulled me and Chase aside to see the rest of Mount Vernon. We even got to see his own personal Lamborghini. We met back up with the rest of the group at George Washington's old family tomb.
You know, we don't have to be too respectful here because there's nobody buried here, but when we get up to the general's tomb, they would like you to be respectful. You're visiting a gravesite.
We made our way down the hill to his new gravesite. George is on the right and Martha's on the left. And it's just incredible to think that they're right in front of you. We made our way farther down the hill to see where George built his business.
His industry, trying to be not dependent on money from England. That was the last thing he wanted. He didn't want to be dependent on England. So he has farms spread over the 8,000 acres. But the river, we can catch lots of fish. The river can also be our highway where we can take what we're growing and ship it all over the place. It was also the place he received things. Mount Vernon was isolated. There's no 7-Eleven nearby here. Everything that they needed really had to be on the property. So think about that.
When he wasn't doing business, he made this weird invention thing in the shape of a hexagon. You put horses in it, and it separates kernels from different plants, and it was genius. Up the hill and across the bridge, we made our way into his own personal museum right there on the property. Here you could see what he looked like during the Revolutionary War, or his first inauguration. Or you could run into bad news and get lost.
Okay, so we got lost.
Yeah.
This is the first place of the trip, and we're lost. Many more to go.
Eventually, we found our way back to the bus, and then we went and got some lunch.
Welcome to Washington.
We made it back into Washington for the second time. Then, we came up with some more bad news.
Bad news. Yeah, we're about to go to the Holocaust Museum, and we can't let you guys in there. So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna buy a postcard. Oh yeah, we'll hold it up to the camera, and that will be our video for the Holocaust. Why are you awkwardly? I just noticed, I'm not even looking at the camera. So, we just got back from the Holocaust Museum.
Oh, Isaac almost got arrested.
I thought
One bull, sir! Sir, one bull! Apart from that screw-up, we made our way farther into the central part of D.C., where Ford's Theater is. Anita gave us our tickets. Then we made our way in, got our tickets scanned, then we made our way down the stairs into the Lincoln Assassination Museum.
No, because I want to be like
It was really cool because we got to see all the people involved in the Lincoln assassination. There were like sculptures of them and stuff. Even this guy, the one who killed him. And this guy, who failed to kill anybody at all. And this is the actual gun that killed Abraham. Not the black dude with dreads, but the president. Across the street, we went to the Peterson house. This was the house that Abraham Lincoln was taken into to be cared for after he was shot. This is the exact bed that he died on. Leaving the museum, we noticed this giant pillar of books all about Abraham Lincoln.
I wonder if that one moves. Does that one move?
But these are books about the life of Lincoln, and it's some aspect of Lincoln's life.
And they're all different. They're just all...
Yeah.
That is crazy.
The next stop was Joe's Souvenir Shop. If you're gonna get souvenirs in DC, you'd probably get them here. Joe's had a ton of stuff, like cool sunglasses, Declaration of Independences, and even weird spherical triangle thing. Apart from that, it had a really cool history.
How long have you owned this store?
Is it here? 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
How long has Coach Baker been coming here?
What?
How long has Coach Baker been coming here?
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Ever since it's open?
Uh-huh.
Wow. That's cool.
I've been to Joe's souvenir shop 14 times.
I've been here for 15 years.
Yep, see, it used to be a different location. We followed Joe down here.
Really?
Yep. So.
That's cool.
Yep.
When we came outside, we got to see what everybody got.
I got. Okay.
Oh, me and Amanda got shirts.
Yeah.
We got those.
No, pull them out. Because we all got the same one. No, we didn't do Heart DC.
It looks the same.
We do Heart DC. Ours different. Yeah.
Hey, what'd you get?
I bought a Statue of Liberty. For one thing that DC is missing is a giant green statue. So I bought.
Coach Baker, do you see this?
I bought a Statue of Liberty. It needs one. Washington DC needs one. Statue of Liberty.
They don't need it. They've got the Statue of Freedom.
The buses were late, and after a while, they finally got here. Once everybody was loaded on, we headed on our way to 3 of the most famous memorials in all of DC. On our way to the memorials, some helicopters flew over us, and if the day couldn't get any better, the helicopters were actually Marine One.
Coming out the other side.
I like that. You must be from Missouri. He goes, I said, green light, Matt. And he goes, I don't care. I'm taking pictures. So look to your right. Look to your right.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
How many times have you seen that in your life so far?
I haven't seen the helicopter as often as I've seen other things.
Have you seen the motorcade a lot?
I have seen the motorcade quite a number of times.
I hope you see motorcades. That would make everything perfect.
Spoiler alert, but we never did see a motorcade.
Right, so
We got a quick little
I need you
briefing,
to
and then we
focus.
walked over to the Vietnam Nurse Memorial. Now, you can see that one of them's looking up into the sky. That's because she's looking for Huey, for more injured soldiers to take care of.
What are we about to do?
Oh, it's like so.
We're doing the...
We're going.
Anna,
Oh,
Anna,
we're going
Anna,
to Oh, the reef. Oh, I got it. Reef.
We're going to put the reef
wing.
in
the Vietnam
We gon-
Memorial.
So we're going to all touch
We're
it.
gonna wade the reef.
When you boil everything that they said down, it means that we're gonna take this reef and we're gonna pass it down to every single student. Right in front of the Vietnam Memorial. We took the reef to the middle of the memorial, amongst all of the names. Somebody from the Park Service would come and pick up the reef and put it in one of their warehouses, along with the 29 other reefs that are there. We came amongst the statue of the 3 men, and Anita pointed out that they weren't just looking at nothing. They were looking at their fallen.
They're looking in the direction of their fallen. Their fallen.
Anita brought up a good question whenever we got to the Lincoln Memorial.
Where have you seen this before?
Well, where have we seen this place before? Maybe Martin Luther King's famous speech. Or whenever that one guy ruined Forrest Gump's speech.
Well, there was only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam. There's only one thing I could say.
The Lincoln Memorial was like the pinnacle of all the events involving civil rights in the Vietnam War. The place was a labyrinth. I mean, it was huge, but Lincoln deserved it. He was credited with literally keeping the whole Union together. And if he didn't do that, we wouldn't have what we have today.
did.
Next stop was the Korean War Memorial.
Yeah, thank you. Longitude line. We were fighting North Korea, communist controlled. They're the bad guys trying to occupy more. South Korea. We came from the south, pushing up against the 38th parallel. You see 19 stainless steel statues over here, kind of behind me, okay? You also see a big black granite wall. Now on that granite wall are not names etched, but images, faces from images captured during the Korean War of support personnel.
The Korean War. So yeah, it was pretty, not intense, but it was very reflective on all the people that died and all the aid that they got there, including like all the countries and stuff that helped them in that war.
We came upon the biggest memorial of the day. It was the World War II Memorial, and it commemorated everybody that fought in the Pacific or the Atlantic. Also, everybody that helped them get there.
Probably this one, because it was like so big, and then it showed all of the like states, surrounding states, and then it had all the stars from before. He's like, that's a lot, like 400,000. 400,000. And each star equals 10, so I thought that was pretty cool.
We got on the bus, which we haven't seen for 3 hours.
My legs hurt really bad. We've been walking for like 3 hours.
Yeah, my back hurts like crap.
We said goodbye to Anita. We got some dinner, got off the bus, and we went to bed.
Morning, Cody. Morning, Cody.
Good morning.
Well, hey, all right.
Am I the only one awake?
Can't see the floor, but that's cool.
Caleb.
What?
What does day 2 feel like so far? What's like?
I'm tired.
Well, I got some
He got
crap
his
story
lanyard
about my
flushed down the
lanyard.
toilet.
Apparently my lanyard got flushed down the toilet, according to Chris.
Cool.
Good morning.
Morning.
First stop of the day was Arlington National Cemetery. We said goodbye to Matt and got off the bus.
You can't trip us on purpose. Ooh, I hadn't even considered that possibility.
Now, Arlington was a huge place, and it held a lot of war veterans that passed. It also held some big names, like John F. Kennedy and the unknown soldier.
I think if you remember yesterday, I explained that the tombstones, the headstones, are set in order as to what it would look like if the soldiers were in a military formation. Yeah. They've done a nice job in this place.
We made our way up to John F. Kennedy's gravesite. Kennedy has an eternal flame on his site, and there's a reason. JFK said that he wanted to reach the moon before the decade was over. In 1969, on an afternoon,
that's one small step for man,
we did.
one giant leap for mankind.
If Kennedy wouldn't have done that, a lot of things would be different. Me and Chase pulled ahead with Coach Baker to get to the tomb of the unknown soldier.
So they disinterred them, and they really don't know if they'll ever have a representative from Vietnam because modern technology makes it possible for us to identify everyone. So, 3rd Division, nicknamed Old Guard. Very difficult unit to get into.
When the ceremony started, they wanted you to get quiet. so let's get quiet. This guy would be performing the change. So he walked over, he made himself announced, and then he did this. After that, we went straight to see some more sights.
We're gonna stop and see a couple of things.
Audie L. Murphy might have a very plain-looking grave, but he wasn't a plain person. He was the most decorated military soldier in the military. He even had medals from France and Italy.
And they made fun of you.
After that, we saw the Columbia Disaster Memorial. At the time, we weren't sure why they came in like this, but we knew why they
This video coming
died.
into us from Texas, where they had heard a loud explosion.
The Challenger Disaster Memorial was right next to it. People literally watched the space shuttle explode right in front of their eyes. We were running late for the bus, so we quickly got out of there.
Smithsonian's to your right, and then all the way down Capitol Building.
The Ubar Hazy Space Museum had everything that had to do with air and space. It had an SR-71 Blackbird and Discovery. The shuttle was just massive. It had a lot of other stuff too, including the Enola Gay, which was the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. For some reason, we were on a rush to get onto the bus. Probably because the National Cathedral was our next stop. We got off the bus, this time not saying goodbye to Matt.
Matt, how come you never get to come with us?
What?
How come you never get to come with us?
I'm coming with you. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's huge and it's really pretty.
So when you get inside, you're each going to have your own personal moment. Your eyes are going to tell your brain you're amazed.
I think amazed was an understatement. This place was insane. It had these incredible stained glass windows that all had an important role in history. One of them was dedicated to the Apollo mission and even had a piece of moon rocket right there in the center. We made our way up. This place was so huge that you could fit the Washington Monument in it from head to toe. The architecture was so incredibly detailed. And John J. Pershing even had his own prayer pile over there.
Once again, this is God's cathedral, but it's also our national cathedral. So our story is being told here. Our, politics and things also are taken here. So that if you consider this cathedral is a living, breathing cathedral.
As we made our way into the basement, we ran into another statue of Lincoln praying.
This left-hand side, you'll see the organ, or part of the organ. The organ has 10,600 pipes. Some as small as your finger, some as large as a person.
We made our way out, missing Darth Vader, and got on the bus. To get to our next destination, we went down Embassy Road.
Left, to your right at about 1 o'clock, that White House with the black roof, that is where Vice President, that's where Vice President Joe Biden lives right now, and every Vice President since about Gerald Ford. This whole thing, it's very modern here, and then it looks more Tudor as we go down the British Embassy. And up here, Winston Churchill will have a statue. He's got 1 foot on the British soil. Look here on your right. Not friends with them anymore, and so that embassy is closed.
Pretty much every single country had an embassy on this road.
Right, so I had a question about how do they fund these embassies? They don't pay taxes to the United States.
Right next to us was the very famous Watergate
You saw
Hotel.
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump would have been staying in that George Washington University building there. He would have been staying there. And he looks out and he goes, you know, you might want to come check the electricity because I see people over there with flashlights, right?
We were at the doorstep of JFK's Performing Arts Center.
Oh my God, we should just
come with us.
Oh God, dude, I'm breaking your camera every single time.
How many people have we filmed here?
I bet there's 17.
Now, do you know how they tell you not to go towards the bright light? Well, at this place, you do.
Off to the right, at about 2 o'clock, you're probably going to see a building you should be familiar with. The cathedral, exactly.
There were planes flying right over us. And a group of anti-terrorist helicopters came flying by right next to us.
The view was actually really, really pretty. The helicopters were cool, and the river looked really, really pretty from here. And it was cool to get to see all the monuments from where we were at.
We said goodbye to JFK and made our way to the Botanic Garden. There's really only one way to describe this place. Just beautiful. If you really wanted to get the effect though, you really need to see it yourself. It was literally like stepping into a new world. We left that, stopping by the Native American History Museum, and then going to the Martin Luther King Memorial.
What was the civil rights movement?
Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, Robert and John F. Kennedy, and this guy, the most famous of all, Martin Luther King. What do they have in common? Well, they were all leaders in the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King, though, was the biggest contributor to getting us from this to this. We walked across the pond to get to the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. FDR came in the right place at the right time. It all started in 1933 with the Great Depression, when he took the unemployment rate from 25% to 2%. He also got us through World War II. We ducked into the Jefferson Memorial. Thomas Jefferson stood 19 feet tall in that circle. He deserved it too, just because he was one of the main contributors to the Declaration of Independence. And that's a pretty important document in our history. We left there to go to the Pentagon Memorial.
These 3 benches lined up. So if the benches are in the same line, they were all born the same year. We have a break because we have 11-year-olds and then we go to about 20-year-olds over here. This whole area was open because we didn't have anybody in between.
A lot of people forget that the Pentagon was part of 9/11. A plane that was set to go to Los Angeles crashed right into one of its sides. 189 people died, ranging from 3-year-olds to 90-year-olds. Each person had their own memorial, and it was made into a bench. And it looked really cool. The yellow glow of the water just looked really, really out of this world. And every once in a while, you would come up to a bench with a cross on it. The oldest guy had a heart on his too. We had dinner at the Pentagon City Mall and then went back to the hotel. We got off the bus and then we had a meeting. And this meeting was a special meeting, just because it was our last meeting.
So as soon as Landon's quiet, we can do this. Thank you. Landon's like, God, I never talk ever at school when I get caught right here. Okay, tomorrow morning will be different in this manner. We do tour all day tomorrow, but when we leave the hotel tomorrow, we don't come back.
guess we should just introduce this now. It's the last day, and we're not really allowed to have our glidey cams. You know how we're getting all those smooth shots? That's not gonna happen anymore. It's gonna be like this. So, yeah. You're gonna have shaky coverage.
We should probably also mention that there was going to be high security today, so we didn't have our mics either.
You can't even take any bags in there. You can see everybody's empty hands.
But why start today off to a bad note when we are literally right next to the White
It's
House?
the White House, Mike, man.
The only way we know if President Obama is on the premises, and really in particular if he's in the Oval Office, is at that door that you see going into the West Wing. If the president is in the Oval Office, there is a Marine standing on guard.
Mr. President wasn't there, so we just left. Our group had a lot of time on their hands, so we took a surprise visit to the Supreme Court building. We passed John Marshall and made our way up into the main room. Right in front of us were the chairs that all 9 Supreme Court justices sat, and it was cool to think of all the history that went on there.
And there'll be love in the bodies of the elephants too. And I'll put my hands over your eyes, but you'll peek through, and there'll be sun, sun, sun.
We left there to our next stop, which was across the street. It was the Library of Congress, and when you walked in, you really got blown away.
This place is crazy. What do you think of this house?
You really couldn't fit any more color into this building. And if you still weren't impressed, if you walked up these stairs, you got to see the actual Library of Congress. Due to limited time though, we had to get out of there pretty fast. You can actually get to the Capitol building straight from the Library of Congress. All you had to do was pass security and go down these tunnels.
The Capitol building.
You excited?
I'm psyched. It's like we're going down this tunnel that's like above a road, so like if a car fell down, we'd probably die. So
But you were suddenly pulled out of the tunnels for some reason.
We are at the Capitol building. We are waiting for our representative to come to us, and then we're going to take a picture with him because he is the one that got us into the Capitol and gave us gallery passes.
Missouri State Representative Billy Long wanted to take a picture with us. So we took the picture and then he introduced us to his Twitter, and we ended up down into the main Capitol sanctuary. We waited in line for a little bit and then we got onto the tour. When you got into the rotunda, you noticed how big the Capitol building is. That dome is 180 feet off the ground. And when you get into the National Sanctuary Hall, your tour guide will show you something super cool. Now that's him, all the way over there in the red shirt. And when you listen close, you can hear him from all the way over there. Due to the acoustics of the room, you could hear somebody from all the way on the other side of the room. After that, we were able to sit in on one of the House of Representative members talking, and then we left. Next stop was the Air and Space Museum for lunch. And here, we had to say goodbye to somebody.
Bye, Anita!
It was the last time we would ever see Anita. When you walk in, you're instantly greeted by the Apollo 11 landing module. And when lunch was over, people got really distracted by this moon rock.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like,
Adam, what does it feel? Adam, what does it feel like?
Are we supposed to go out there and be like a piece of plastic?
Yeah.
I think
that's
it
what
is a
everybody
piece
else
of
said.
plastic.
I mean, it's real.
It's a decoy.
But we have to meet outside, I think.
The real one's, hidden. Pretty sure.
We all met up outside and went to our next destination. Now, at this point, we thought that we could film in the National Archives, but when we got in, they told us that we couldn't. So, after that, we decided to go back to the Air and Space Museum, just because we didn't have a lot of time to look around in there because lunch took up all the time. The Air and Space Museum just bombards you with different planes and spaceships. They have a model of the Hubble telescope, the Wright brothers' first plane, and the first liquid rocket, and an array of different Predator drones. They even have a little model of Skylab. We left there and went to the Natural History Museum. You're greeted by an elephant.
And if you walk upstairs, they have a different arrangement of minerals. The most famous being the Hope Diamond, but there's others too. Some shiny and some not so shiny. They even had radioactive rocks. You walk around a little bit more and then you come to the aquatic section. Here, you can see a giant squid. We left there and went to the National History Museum. There they have a booth on a diner. It was involved in a peaceful protest during the Civil Rights Movement. Speaking of civil rights, they had a whole section about it. You walk down into the lower section and you can find the only camera that was able to see the first plane hit one of the Twin Towers. They also had Apollo Ono's speed skates, Muhammad Ali's boxing gloves, and Bob Dylan's jacket. We left there and that was our last sight for the day. We walked over to where we'd have dinner and we had dinner. After that, we were put outside.
It's okay.
But he's not gonna go.
I just want to know like the feelings that you have. It's the end of the trip.
And now I'm leaving, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Now, it might just look like we're faking this, but on the inside, it was pretty hard. We got back onto the bus for the last time in DC, and we saw Matt, who we didn't get to see all day.
It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you like all day. Yeah. What's up? Did you get rest? Yeah, sure did. Awesome. Now we're not gonna crash.
In the bus, everybody was giving each other high fives. It was just like one big family.
Here's a real quick trivia question. I do this on all my tours. How many times have you been on and off this bus? From the moment I picked you up in Ohio to right now. It's 52 times.
52 times? God.
From the moment we stepped onto this bus, we had no idea what we signed up for. And through the early mornings, the late nights, long walks, long talks, we slowly found out what we did get ourselves into. And, you know, it was worth it. It was a life-changing trip, and on the way home, I'm pretty sure we noticed that. Now, the ride home was like any other, but when we entered Springfield, we were pretty happy.
It's Springfield! Okay, now.
I wanted to thank all of you for a good year. My 30th year was fantastic, so thank you for being a great group. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, thank you.
That was our last time getting off the bus.
Hey. Good to go.
Sorry, I haven't got like an interview of you at all. It's your 30th year.
Yeah, it's great.
Elaborate.
It was great. I enjoyed it. 30 years of helping kids go to the nation's capital and learn about our government and our country. Can't beat that.
Is that why you did it for 30 years?
Yep. Yeah. In fact, I believe, did we hear from someone from the first year you said in some of those contacts?
Yeah.
Someone from the very first year, 30 years ago, responded. Okay. And we have a person from the first year who is setting up an endowment for encouraging kids to go to Washington in the future. So it's obviously a life-altering event for them, and that's worth $1 million to me.
Cool.
We'll take it. So,
Sweet.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. The trip was just over like that. And soon spring break would be over, which meant we would have to go back to school. But it's all good, just because we would have this trip in the back of our minds. And when you think about it, this wasn't no ordinary class trip. It was the best trip that anybody on the bus has ever taken.
Take your time, calm